Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Terry Koss Show, a wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Terry Koss, coming at you from the Great White North, and let's kick things off with WCPW. Now, for those of you who don't know, WCPW stands for What Culture Pro Wrestling. This wrestling organization grew out of a YouTube channel, What Culture, which deals with TV, movies, video games, all that stuff, and especially wrestling. And now they've formed their own wrestling organization, which is really cool. And they have, this is basically my rundown of the roster. You have Lucas Archer and Alex Gracie, known as Prospect, managed by James R. Kennedy. You have you have Big Damo, the Beast of Belfast, who became the first WCPW heavyweight champion. You have El Ligero, who is known for his speed, has a cool mask on. Gabriel Kidd, the Iron Man Joe Coffey, a former ICW World Heavyweight Champion. Very tough. Joe Hendry, a guy who I've stayed on this podcast and I cannot say enough good about. Awesome entrances. Really good wrestler, technical-wise and otherwise. Joseph Connors, who became the second WCPW World Heavyweight Champion, is the current WCPW World Heavyweight Champion. Good technician in the ring. Martin Kirby. This guy is really funny. I've only seen like maybe one or two episodes of WCPW show, but I've seen bits and pieces of later episodes, and Martin Kirby is so funny. Like, it's awesome. Noam Dar, former ICW 0G champion, just competed in the WWE Cruiserweight Classic. Very good with high flying and submissions. You got Prince Amin, Prince from India. The Primate, this guy looks like he just came out of the forest. This guy does not talk, but this guy can hit like there's no tomorrow. You've also got Rampage, better known as Rampage Brown. Good wrestler, very tough, very strong. And of course you have Will Ospreay, the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors 2016 in New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you want to check out WCPW's show Loaded, airs every week on YouTube. Check out their page at What Culture Pro Wrestling. If you want to know more about this promotion, hit up their website at wc.pw. Right now, I would like to recap the last 6 weeks of the Cruiserweight Classic. Alright, let's take a look at Week 5 of the Cruiserweight Classic. Now, Week 5 started off the second round of the tournament. We saw Mexico's Gran Metalik versus the veteran Tajiri. Great match. Metalik is amazing on the ropes. Just does these, he can walk the ropes, he's great with drop kicks, great with a lot of stuff. Tajiri, of course, came with the kicks, but Metalik ended up beating him with a Metalik driver. Gran Metalik moves on to the third round. Our second match in episode 5 featured Japan's Kota Ibushi up against the United States' Cedric Alexander. This is one of the coolest matches of the entire tournament. If you have not seen it, check it out. Just amazing, like the counters these guys did to each other. Ibushi's kicks, Cedric's high flying. Ibushi at one point kicks him, and oh my gosh, it reverberates around the arena. Like, it just goes back and forth, and Kota Ibushi ends up winning with the Golden Star Powerbomb. So Kota Ibushi moves on to the third round. Now, at the end of the show, they show Cedric Alexander. He's, out in the entranceway, and people are like, sign Cedric, da-da-da-da-da. And Cedric is just overwhelmed with emotion, and he's just, so grateful to be here. All of a sudden, Triple H comes out, shakes his hand, and they walk to the back. So, does that mean that Cedric Alexander has kind of won himself a contract? I don't know. We will see. Now recapping episode 6. This is also in the second round. Our first match featured Japan's Akira Tozawa up against England's Jack Gallagher. This was a really good match. Gallagher impressed the heck out of me with his catch can wrestling. Had a lot of things going for him. Had good submission game up against Tozawa. Tozawa known for his kicks. Gallagher was able to use his submission to kind of take the legs out of Tozawa. Tozawa just kept coming at him and eventually hit him with the German suplex. And Akira Tozawa wins and moves on to the third round. Our next match featured Scotland via Israel's Noam Dar up against Hong Kong China's Ho Ho Lun. This was a great match. You could see Dar was working on Lun's leg, for most of the match. It was really, really good. Ho Ho Lun showed off his great high flying skills, and Noam Dar ends up winning the match with knee bar, which he is known for. And so Noam Dar moves on to the third round. The last match of the night featured the Brian Kendrick from the United States up against Tony Nese from the United States. Now, the story going in here, the Brian Kendrick, veteran of 19 or so odd years, trained in the same training camp as Daniel Bryan did, the Shawn Michaels Training Academy, wrestled his first match against Daniel Bryan, and you can hear in the commentary how much Daniel wants him to win. Tony Nese calls himself the premier athlete, and I can see why. This guy is quick as a cat, but he's so muscular, and he's got the power game, but he's also got that speed as well. Again, you wouldn't think he would for a guy his size, but he did this really cool flip over the ropes on Brian Kendrick. I believe they called it a Fosbury flop. Just a great match. Kendrick tried for the bully choke at least twice. Nese countered it. The striking game for both was great. Kendrick would strike, Nese would strike, and was just a really good match between two really good athletes. And then the finish of the match, Nese goes for a 450 splash. Kendrick ducks out of the way, gets him in the bully choke. Nese taps out, and the Brian Kendrick moves on to the third round. Taking a look at episode 7, our first match featured Lince Dorado of Puerto Rico up against Rich Swann of the USA. Rich Swann wins the match, advances to round 3 with a Phoenix Splash. I don't really know how to explain it. I guess look it up. Great moves by both competitors. Both great high flyers, and there was a really nice reverse Rana done by Lince Dorado. Our second match featured Zack Sabre Jr. from England versus Drew Gulak from the United States. Zack Sabre Jr. wins with a pin with a bridge, and Zack Sabre Jr. advances to round 3. This was a great technical match between two of the best technical wrestlers in the Cruiserweight Classic. Zack Sabre Jr. really good at getting out of holds. Drew Gulak, also known for his great technical wrestling. Our last match featured Johnny Gargano of the USA versus TJ Perkins of the Philippines. TJ Perkins wins with a knee bar, and TJ Perkins advances to round 3. Again, another good match. Gargano came into it with an injured knee, that coming from NXT Brooklyn TakeOver 2, where him and Tommaso Ciampa went up against the Revival. Unfortunately, came up on the losing end. On episode 8, featured our first match, Akira Tozawa of Japan versus Gran Metalik of Mexico. Gran Metalik won with the Metalik driver. Very much like a Michinoku driver, made famous or made popular by Taka Michinoku, who was a star in the WWE from 1997 to 1998. Metalik moves on to the semifinals. Metalik is really great on the ropes, known in Mexico as the Rey de los Cuertas, or King of the Ropes. You think he's going one way of the ropes, goes another way, and just an amazing high flyer. Our second match of the night featured the Brian Kendrick of the USA up against Kota Ibushi of Japan. Kota Ibushi wins with a Golden Star Powerbomb. Ibushi moves on to the semifinals. A great match. Kendrick used his surroundings to help in the match. Gave Ibushi a neck breaker on the top turnbuckle. Ibushi is back from neck surgery, so he was trying to target that. As soon as the match was over, the fans were, celebrating Brian Kendrick, giving him good props. And Daniel Bryan, who is just kind of his biggest fan in this tournament, comes out and just gives him a hug. You can see the emotion in their eyes. Of course, Daniel Bryan and the Brian Kendrick trained together at Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy and had their first match against each other, I believe, in around 1999. Taking a look at episode 9, we have Zack Sabre Jr. of England versus Noam Dar of Scotland via Israel. Zack Sabre Jr. wins with a double arm bar. Zack Sabre Jr. moves on to the semifinals. A great technical match. We had, of course, the technical wizard, Zack Sabre Jr. versus the Scottish supernova, Noam Dar. A really good match between these guys. They've known each other for a long time. Zack Sabre Jr. actually helped train Noam Dar. Again, Zack Sabre Jr., amazing at getting out of holds. Great with putting on holds, and Dar, an amazing high flyer, really good with the knee bar, and it was a great match. Our next match featured Rich Swann of the United States versus T.J. Perkins of the Philippines. T.J. Perkins wins with a knee bar, and Perkins goes on to the semifinals. This was a really fun match. Both Rich Swann and T.J. Perkins like to excite the crowd. Rich Swann does a lot of dancing. At one point, Swann was dancing, getting the upper hand, and then Perkins started getting the upper hand and started dabbing. Again, another dance move, you'd have to look that up. And Rich Swann got a bit mad. A great match. Rich Swann, a great high flyer, up against T.J. Perkins, another great high flyer. Finally, we go to episode 10, which is the last episode of the Cruiserweight Classic. Our first match featured Grand Metalik of Mexico versus Zack Sabre Jr. of England. Grand Metalik wins with Metalik Driver and goes on to the finals. A good match. Metalik, great with the high flying and use of the ropes, and again Zack Sabre Jr. great with submissions, getting in, getting out. The second match featured Kota Ibushi of Japan versus T.J. Perkins. T.J. Perkins actually won this match with a knee bar and also a neck submission. Of course, Kota Ibushi coming back from neck surgery. Perkins moves on to the finals. Good match. Really cool move that Ibushi has called the Golden Triangle Moonsault. Goes to the ropes, jumps on the top rope, turns backwards, and moonsaults onto his opponent. I think a lot of people were surprised that TJ won this match because Ibushi came into it as one of the favorites. Ibushi was one of my picks to win. Another pick of mine was Brian Kendrick because he kept impressing me. Every match he had, he just kept getting better and better, and I thought, okay, he's going to win this, but unfortunately that's not how it went. Our next match was a tag team match. It featured Noam Dar from Scotland via Israel and Cedric Alexander of the USA up against Johnny Gargano of the USA and Tommaso Ciampa of the USA. Gargano and Ciampa win the match with a double kick, basically a kick from each side. Gargano kicks to the face, Ciampa kicks to the back. Great chemistry between Gargano and Ciampa, who are now, I believe, going by the name DIY. My guess as to this name, it refers to the punk rock method DIY, or do it yourself. A lot of punk rock bands started off, in the 70s and the 80s, basically did it themselves, booked their own shows, made their own posters, and basically made their own way in the world of music. So, really good match. Can't wait to see Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa maybe go up against the Revival for another time for the NXT Tag Team titles. The finals of the tournament featured Grand Metalik of Mexico up against T.J. Perkins of the Philippines. T.J. Perkins ends up winning the match with a knee bar, tries the knee bar once, Metalik escapes, tries it twice, Metalik escapes. Perkins really focuses on the knee of Metalik. Metalik, of course, great on the ropes, great high flying. A really good match between these two. Metalik tries for the Metalik driver, gets part of it, but unfortunately his knee is really hurting him at this point, so he doesn't quite get all of it. Metalik tries for a Metalik driver off the top rope. He ends up going down a bit. Perkins gets him in the knee bar. Metalik tries to get to the ropes, is almost there. Perkins pulls back, puts on the knee bar a second time, crosses Metalik's one knee over the other knee, and Metalik taps out. It was really cool. Besides becoming the winner of the WWE Cruiserweight Classic, TJ Perkins also became the new WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Before the match even started, Triple H came out. Of course, everybody saw the trophy made by the guys from Orange County Choppers. Triple H comes out and says the winner of this match will not only receive this trophy, but this title. So TJ Perkins, winner of the Cruiserweight Classic and the new WWE Cruiserweight Champion. I thought this was a great thing. The Cruiserweight Classic I thought was awesome. All 32 competitors were really great. Some of my favorite matches from this Cruiserweight Classic, Cedric Alexander versus Kota Ibushi in the second round. That was such a good match. Another great match was Grand Metalik and Zack Sabre Jr. in the third round, I believe. High flying up against the technical skills. Really cool of Triple H to put this together. They mentioned William Regal did a lot of scouting for this tournament. He mentioned to both Mauro Ranallo and Daniel Bryan that this took about a year to put together. I thought Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo made a great announce team. Mauro Ranallo reminds me a lot of Mike Tenay. He knows the moves. And what was really cool, what was really funny is actually he threw in a lot of hip hop references in the matches, which really surprised me. But they worked really well. Of course, Daniel Bryan was a really good commentator, worked well with Mauro, and of course was pulling for Kendrick. And when Kendrick lost, you could hear it in his voice how much he was sad that Kendrick didn't move on. But all in all, I think a great Cruiserweight Classic. What are some of your guys' favorite matches or favorite wrestlers from this Cruiserweight Classic? If you want to let me know, check out my Facebook page at Terry Koss Show Podcast and tell me what match you thought was the best or what was a good match. What wrestler really impressed you in this tournament? Also on Twitter, follow me at Cheeto Koss, CheetoKoss. Again, tell me what match you thought was the best, what superstars you thought really did well in the tournament. Use the hashtag Terry Koss Show. Also, before I forget, a big thank you to Eddie K, who redid my logo. I hope you guys like it. I think it looks really good. It has punk rock lettering. Of course, it has the orange and the green. The two colors of my favorite Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo. That'll do it for this week. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you had as much fun listening to me as I did talking to you. And feel free to follow me on Facebook at Terry Koss Show Podcast. You see any good matches, send me a link. Heard any great wrestling theme songs, send me a link. Also, follow me on Twitter at Cheeto Koss. That's CheetoKoss. And if you're tweeting to me, use the hashtag Terry Koss Show. Also this week, on Raw, they had a match to determine the number one contender for the WWE Cruiserweight title. We saw brand new theme releases. First one was Rich Swann, All Around the World. He used that in the Cruiserweight Classic. Excellent song. Download if you want off iTunes. We also had Won't Let Go for Cedric Alexander, also on iTunes. And Metallico, a remake of Grand Metalik's theme from the Cruiserweight Classic. So thank you for joining me, and for Terry Koss, I've been Terry Koss. I'll see you next week.